Well, hello, fellow Patriots. Welcome to episode 4. That's right, episode 4 on the Patriot Dad channel, where we can discuss current events and modern issues, all while keeping it as real as possible. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about relationships, which is kind of a sore topic, considering what I'm in the middle of going through right now. But I think it is important for our culture, our society in the West, and how things are going now and how they're going to be going here in the future. Part of the conversation is how our culture influences and is removing incentives for men to want to be married and for relationships to go well, for people to want to have a relationship with each other and not just themselves. Because right now our culture prioritizes the self over others more than anything else. And once no-fault divorce was implemented, thanks Ronald Reagan, 1969, the start of no-fault divorce. No-fault divorce just means that at any given time, one person in the relationship can just decide that, their commitment, whether you're religious or not, your commitment, at least in a contract between you and your significant other and the state, can be null and void and dissolved because you just don't feel like it anymore. No reason needs to be given. Just, I changed my mind, right? But now at this point, all 50 states recognize no-fault divorce, and there are a lot of states where fault divorce is no longer recognized. Like, think about that. If your significant other cheated on you, got into drug use, was abusive, the classic reasons why you would try to dissolve a marriage. That was a good reason, right? Like they'd be justifiable in many senses. But now it's just like, I don't feel like it. They're just not doing it for me anymore. What does that tell you about the level of commitment for anything? If you can't even follow through on a commitment that is between you and your creator and your family and their family, your community and you, if you can't follow through on that commitment, what hope does society have that you're going to follow through on a commitment that you made about anything? Right? Because a lot of people argue that, it's just a little thing, right? The little things don't matter. It's a little lie. No. If you can't be trusted even with little things, what makes you think I would trust you with a significant thing? Well, why would anybody trust you with a significant thing if you can't handle the little things? They won't. And the media is constantly telling us, whether it's, The View or TikTok, or, just the internet in general. Think about yourself. You need to be happy, right? Happy. What even is it to be happy? The only time I'm happy is when I accomplish something that was difficult, right? You set out to do something difficult, right? I completed college. I set out to do it with a 4.0 GPA because I had never had one in my life. You know how happy I was when I graduated with top honors with a 4.0 GPA? It was challenging. I did it while I was working full time, right? That was hard. And when I did it, I was happy briefly, right? And then what are you supposed to do with that feeling? You turn that feeling of happiness into your motivation to do the next hard thing. Because it's really the only reason that you're going to be happy in this life. So when you're constantly chasing what the media tells you is happiness, you're trying to keep up with the Kardashians, so to speak. How happy are they? How happy are any, of the rich people or the celebrities that overdose and die, take drugs, drown themselves in their misery? They can have a lot of money, but they're not happy, right? So why do you think you're going to be? By chasing the things they chase. See, that's the key, right? if you do the same things that they do, if you try to emulate the people that society is telling you are the heroes just to watch them overdose and die in a gutter, are they really the people that you should be trying to be? Why not try to be like Dr. Ben Carson that we talked about last episode? That man is a damn success story, right? Raised in a poor area by a single mother, top neurosurgeon, pediatric neurosurgeon, right? Member of a federal government organization, right? He was the head of, I believe, HUD. Highly successful. Dr. Barry Black, grew up in Baltimore, single mother, became the chaplain of the Senate. Heard him speak at church once. Amazing story, amazing guy. Why are we not emulating those people? Why are we not idolizing people that are highly successful in relationships? Right? Why are we chasing celebrities who can't stay married longer than 5 minutes and idolizing them? Why not find the people in Hollywood that have been married for 20 years and more? Follow them. But no, that doesn't get clicks, right? A stable relationship doesn't get clicks. And if you notice in movies, they always show the relationship. They show a little bit, you overcome some difficulty, and then they fall in love and they go to their wedding, and then it's happily ever after. Why don't they ever show, 2 years down the road? Right? Do they not want to show the conflict? They don't want to show the reality. It's what they don't want to show. And that relationships are hard because it's dynamics between multiple people. You have to put multiple egos in check. You've got to learn how to work with each other, overcome each other's difficulties. And I'm telling you, coming off last week's episode, which if you want to see it, it'll be in one of the corners if I can figure out how to do that on YouTube. But on internal versus external locus of control, you can see how the mindset of someone, if you're always blaming everyone else for the outcomes in your life and not taking responsibility for your own, right? If you have an external locus, man, how can you be successful in a relationship? If at no point are you willing to admit that you are where you are in your life because of your choices, like if you can't even admit that, how are you supposed to work through an issue with another person if you just think it's their fault and it couldn't possibly be yours because you're an angel and you're God's gift to mankind and perfect? And of course that won't work, right? Like you'll be single and you'll live with your cats or your dogs or your ferrets or whatever it is you're going to have to keep you company, and that's just going to be your life, and that's what you want. That's fine. But don't think that a person of any kind of value is going to want to be around you. It's probably considered a hot take at this point, but I don't care because reasons. But if you want to be in a traditional relationship, right? Or even non-traditional, if you want to be in a relationship where one person works and the other person stays at home, it's the role of the person who stays home to make sure that the person who has to go out into the world and work their ass off to provide for your existence, it's your job to make sure that they're comfortable, that they come home to a place of peace. So when they get home from work and going out there and killing a paycheck, right, with a spear, kill a paycheck, come home, bring it, drag it through the door, throw it at your feet, that you get rewarded for that, right? So like if the lady's going to work, fine, non-traditional household, if you can make that work, that's on you. But like if the lady goes out there and kills a paycheck and you're a stay-at-home husband, don't know why you would be, but if you are, your job is to make sure that she has food ready, and when she comes home, anything she needs is done, taken care of, or followed up on. Because when you come home from a 14-hour day, the last thing you want to do is get bickered at or get in an argument with your significant other, right? You just got done dealing with a bunch of bullshit all day at work. You don't want to come home to that. So if you're going to be the stay-at-home person, your job is to make sure that that person that goes out there and kills you a paycheck and brings it home to you, make sure that they're taken care of because they're taking care of you. And if you're bringing conflict into their life, don't be surprised when your life is full of conflict because you're bringing it on yourself. Like, If you know what they need and you're not doing that, you're wrong. Like, does that mean that the person that goes out there and gets a paycheck has free reign to be a dick? No. Do they get to demand everything from you and not give you anything in return? No. But for God's sake, if they're gone all day and they come home and there's nothing ready for them and the house is a disaster and the kids are running around if you have them and it's just chaos. You don't want to come home to that, right? Flip those roles. If you're the stay-at-home person, put yourself in their shoes. Just tell yourself, you know what? I just went out for a 14-hour day, worked my ass off, did a job I don't like, just commuted an hour in shitty DC traffic or LA traffic or wherever you are, and you got home and you go through the door and you put down your stuff when you get through the door, and what's the first thing you want? Maybe it's a cold beer. Don't know why, but maybe it's, a hug and a thank you. Maybe it's a foot rub. I don't know. Whatever, tickles your pickle or a nickel. Whatever that is. It's that person's job to give it to you. Hands down. Has to be. Because following the golden rule, treat other people as you would want to be treated. If you were the one going out for a 14-hour day and dealing with commuter traffic and all that other nonsense, you would want that stuff, wouldn't you? You would want to come home and be taken care of. Only makes sense. And, if you don't understand why, your significant other is treating you the way they are or talking to you the way they are, I have an idea. Stop them and ask them. Have a conversation. Don't come in hot and heavy, right? Don't come off as a dick. Don't start yelling. But be like, hey, look, sweetie, sugar tits, whatever. Be like, hey, I get it. You sound really frustrated. Help me understand why. Is there something I could be doing? Is it something that happened at work? Like, help me understand where you're coming from so that I don't make it worse. How hard is that? Show a little empathy, right? Hey, I could act offended right now, but I'm not going to. Help me understand why you are frustrated right now so that I don't make it worse. Seems like that conversation is a lot better to have than to make an assumption that they're mad at you because of something that they're just being an asshole. They're mad at you for something you can't control or don't know about. Now they're the asshole. You assume that they're mad at you and they're fucked up. And then what? Now that you assume that, you're going to be mad at them for treating you poorly for something that's their fault. Now you're mad. They're already mad. And nobody said a damn thing to each other yet. For God's sakes, people, discuss more and assume less. Assume literally spells ask, you, me. Like, knock it off. What's so important to understand is that communication is both verbal and nonverbal, right? You could be like, I didn't say anything mean to you. But funny thing about that is there's been a bunch of studies done about communication, and I know I'm going to butcher this guy's poor name, but I'm sorry, Albert, Mr. Mehrabian, I think. When he did his study, he called it the 738-55 rule. So that states that 7% out of 100 of the meaning in a conversation is communicated through spoken words. 38% is through the tone of voice, because how you say something matters a lot. In fact, 38% out of 100, and 55% is body language. If you're coming at me, bro, or if you're just like, hey man, like, hey, I just help me understand, right? It's not a big deal. Smile, throw a heart, whatever you got to do. 55% is body language. So between body language and your tone of voice, 93% of communication is accounted for there. So you can tell yourself that you didn't say anything that way, but when 93% of the communication is done through nonverbal, through tone of voice and body language, right? Like if I did my whole video like, is this interesting? Would you want to watch this? Like, I don't want to be here, right? That's kind of what this shows. No one wants to see that shit, right? Pay attention to how you talk to people. Not just what you say, but how you say it. Very important. So, in conclusion today, everybody, and I'm a little more animated about this. I don't know if you can tell. Probably because of some shit that I'm going through personally, but relationships are hard because people can be strange sometimes. But you know what? That's fine. Sometimes they'll, come around. Sometimes they won't. And if they won't, you know what? You can't care about somebody else's success more than they do. I heard that from a very wise person here recently. He told me, among everyone else in the group, that I can't care more about your success than you do. As soon as you demonstrate to me that you aren't committed to your own success, I'm done with you. Right? Why would somebody who's worth a damn waste their time on you when you don't value yourself? Good point, right? And as always, remember the golden rule and pay attention to how you communicate with others. So in next week's video, we're going to be tackling the idea that, believe it or not, success is not an overnight thing. It does not come easily. It isn't found in a Cracker Jack box or won in a lottery. Success isn't an accident. That's going to be next week. If you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Please share the video and leave a comment if you have a recommendation for a future topic, or if you have a comment about this topic. Feel free to leave a comment. Take care, God bless, and bye for now, everyone.